Good afternoon from ScaleLIT. My name is Renuka. Today is a new day. The sky has blessed us with a lot of this rain, but I'm thinking that everybody's close by around here, so we're all experiencing the rain. So we're so happy you could join us today. My name is Renuka from ScaleLIT, and proud to have served and engaged with so many of you on these in-service learning circles. We've been doing this since 2020, since the pandemic, and we're continuing this, and it's growing and growing. So it's so good to see so many people. A few just housekeeping mentions. If you need to take care of yourself, feel free. You need a break, take a minute. It's being recorded for knowledge purposes. So if you feel comfortable to leave your video on, please do. And we will send out the recording afterwards, along with the awesome presentations that we have today. Today's learning circle is a cross-training exercise to engage the wider community in working with new arrivals. We've got some amazing people lined up today, so stay tuned. We're scheduled to meet until 3, but if time increases and you can stay on until 3:15, please do. We'll leave the whole entire Zoom open. So today's title is Helping New Arrivals Access Workforce Development. I will turn it over to Hannah from the Resurrection Project. The Resurrection Project, otherwise known as TRP, has been a key player in working with new arrivals. So I'm going to turn it over to Hannah, and I appreciate you all for being here. Thank you.
Thank you, Renuka. Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. I'm Hannah Sternberg from the Resurrection Project. It's really nice to see some folks from the workshops and also some folks that I met at On the Road conference back in the spring. So lovely to see you all. Thanks for being here today. So I'm Hannah, and I'm a program manager with the Immigrant Partnerships Department of the Resurrection Project. We're a nonprofit based in Pilsen, committed to empowering communities in the southwest sides of Chicago. And so for the past, I guess, November to May, I was managing the TPS EAD workshops downtown. That's temporary protected status and work permits, mostly for the Venezuelan community that is, the recent arrivals here in Chicago, as well as for other folks that are eligible. And I've had the pleasure of, having ScaleLIT and a lot of other folks tabling at the workshops. My role has since transitioned, so I haven't been at the workshops this summer. I'm now working with other legal service organizations in the city on behalf of TRP, but it was a really great experience, and I'm so happy to be speaking with, panelists today who are going to be sharing their experiences, supporting recent arrivals and who are, partners in this work. So on that note, I'm excited to jump right into our questions. And Renuka, would you present our panelists here?
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to let everyone know too that we're excited to bring you on, and I'd love to have your information. So please feel free to drop in your information, your name, organization you serve, where you're located, and something exciting that you'll be doing next week. Just we've got a lot of people here, very exciting. So today we've got Fernando Vieda Flamenco from Truman College, part of the City College of Chicago. We've got Gabriel Perez, along with Roxanne Garcia and Germania Solorzano from ScaleLIT, my colleagues who have been working very tirelessly with the New Arrivals Project. We've got Clelia Gomez from Cerco. We have the wonderful Awilda Gonzalez from National Able Network, along with her co-anchor, William Mijares from the Quest team. And that is, yep, that's it. So we've got great people here, and let's get to it.
Wonderful. Yeah, I'll jump right in with the questions. Thank you for the introduction of all of our wonderful panelists, Renuka. So my first question for folks is, how has, your team specifically been engaging with recent arrivals, and how have you made the work inclusive of recent arrivals?
So Hannah, before we start, I just wanted to get Gabrielle, Roxanne, and Hermania just to lay the foundation out for Scale It, and then we'll have the others, Awilda, William, Fernando, and Glelia to just introduce themselves and in the staple of the work that they're doing, just to introduce themselves. I apologize for not for not putting that in there. So go ahead, Gabrielle. Do you need me to put up the
If you don't mind.
yes?
Thank you. Well, as we're putting that up on the screen, hi, I'm Gabriel Perez. With ScaleIt, navigation services out of the Pilsen American Job Center, so working on special projects, and one of the major projects is this one that we're working with new arrivals. Next slide, please. So yeah, so this is kind of the list of what we're going to be talking about today. We just did our introduction. We're going to be talking about some highlight data, experience. We're going to be doing the moderation. We're going to be hearing from all the frontline people we just introduced, and also a wrap up and next steps and actions. Next one, please. So as Hannah mentioned, we have been in a centralized downtown location for temporary protected status, and also the AAD, which is the work permit authorization. This started in October of last year, and as you see there, we started with 2 pilots, and have done about, and I might be wrong, 27 sprints that vary from every single day to 3 days, sometimes twice, and right now we're back to about 3. We have one more scheduled at the end of the month, and we have been a little more inclusive with our Haitian Creole participants across the county. Next slide, please. So I just wanted to give you a quick overview of a sampling of the information that we've had and collected with our partners that we work with in our task force, which I'll talk a little more about in a bit. The legal terms that we're using are work authorization for EAD, and anything that has to do with change of status, could be TPS, could be asylum seeker. There's a lot of different technical terms I'm pretty sure Hannah's very familiar with, but we're going to be talking about changes of status and anything that's work authorization. These coordinated events have been facilitated through an application process and have been co-located at a federal location mostly in the last, well, the year, a little over half the year. They've been a priority to sheltered residents, but have been opened to anyone that is filling out an online form to be able to be reached and assessed to see if they are eligible for these services. They've been coordinated through a unified system, and we see that we have about 103 workshops that have been completed thus far. Over 8,000 legal screenings, over 7,000 applications processed, over 3,000 work authorizations, social security cards, over 3,000 as well, and interest forms collected are the ones that we're kind of going to talk about today, and some of the great efforts of our partners today, over the 3,500. Next slide, please. So we just have some general data collected from the number when we were at 3,500. We're a little over 36 now, but we see that we have a lot of individuals, a lot of new arrivals, a lot of immigrant people, collection information that we're collecting that is above between the ages of 25 and 35. And also a significant amount of individuals that are what we call opportunity youth, or 18 to 24-year-olds. There's lots of industries that the data we've been collecting are interested in, and you could see everything: construction, manufacturing, hospitality, and there's a significant amount of other. And we're going to be sorting that data out as well. I've personally met individuals that have been lawyers and doctors and engineers. the time there. We see there's high levels of high school, trade school, and some college. But we also see a significant amount of individuals that didn't have the opportunity to complete high school for different reasons. And a lot of them would tell me at the front line that it had to do with their immigration story. Next slide, please. So I just want to quickly mention about the fieldwork experience that the Migrant Workforce Task Force was started around October. It included people from the Chicago Workforce Partnership and other individuals that started coming into the centralized TPS events. We put out a call and had wonderful WIOA partners, some that are present today and still working on the project, that came to the federal building downtown and helped us with this process. I got to meet a lot of individuals from the Workforce Innovation Opportunity Act, Title I, a lot of the adult education, a lot of people from the unemployment office, IDS offices from all over the county, some DRS officials and other types of workforce development professionals that were kind enough to volunteer some of their time and also provide a lot of help with collecting the data that you just saw. During that time, we found that we were stretching ourselves a lot, and we needed some help, and the partnership and other government officials were great enough to provide us with support. We do have this Quest staff and a picture of a sampling of some of them. It's kind of funny. I'm still wearing the same shirt, but that day we accidentally just kind of uniformed at a pre-employment event. And we will have someone talk a little later that's a member of the Quest staff about that experience and what they're engaging with the public. We've been providing referrals in network and out of network. They've been about 400 out of that number that has directly gone to adult education, adult literacy programs all around Cook County. There's a number that's a little higher outside of this 3,500 number that you've seen that's done through campaigning through the AJC Level Up, which we'll provide information for later to connect with an American Job Center for workforce AJC satellite services that are included within those American Job Centers. But I do want to spotlight that workforce youth are being connected. We are connecting them to locations that do training, like Youth Job Center and other workforce training programs, Job Corps that also does housing opportunities while training, senior programs. We did see a small percentage there, but it's a significant amount of individuals that are 55 or older that are welcome for the senior community employment programming. And other people with special needs are also, we have commitment from our Department of Human Services, Rehabilitative Services programs with that. I just wanted to quickly mention that aside from the data you just saw, we also have engagement with the City of Chicago, Office of Immigrant, Migrant, and Refugee Rights events that are pop-ups called Know Your Rights and Immigrant Resource Fairs. We've also had a pop-up yesterday. We're going to share a picture later and have a conversation with William in a bit, who was awesome to join us there. Know Your Rights and Immigrant Resource Fairs, city key resource fairs, localized AJC employment resource fairs, and other community-based organization resource fairs. We are seeing significant and large numbers of new arrivals from everywhere. Yesterday morning, engaging with French speakers from Senegal, Wolof speakers from Ghana, and we also had Portuguese speakers from Angola, for example, that were engaging in the South Side. So we're finding more and more individuals that have specialized needs. Next one. So I'd like to welcome Hermania and Roxanne, who are navigators at North Riverside and at Maywood. And I'd like for them to talk about, these pictures and also their experience engaging with new immigrants.
I can go first. So I'm Roxanne Garcia. I am the Career Pathways Navigator with ScaleLIT, and I'm housed at the American Job Center in North Riverside. I, along with Gabe, have been attending the events throughout Chicagoland, suburbs, and then at the McCaff Center. And one thing that I have been noticing is, besides being a directory as navigators, the fact that when we attend events, we are also being a translator for the individuals. We, at that specific event in the picture on the far left-hand side, this individual, Harimad, what we noticed is that the resource for her was right there on the same table that we were at, but the language barrier was evident. And though the information, we had somebody there that was a representative for Job Corps, there was just the inability to communicate. And so I got to talk to her, and the neat thing was getting to know her in like a couple, minutes, and asking her what her interest was. And I knew that this was a good fit. And I said, well, look at this. This is some information. Let's see how we can work out with what we can work out with Job Corps. She fit the age requirements. The interest that she has is in business administration, and that's something that Job Corps offered. So it worked out. We were able to take a picture, and lo and behold, this was a great connection that we as navigators can make at events. So being a directory and being able to translate is very helpful. And I'll pass it on to Germania.
Hi, my name's Germania Solórzano, and I'm working out of the American Job Center in Maywood. And like Roxanne and Gabe, I've been going to a lot of the TPS events and other events like City Key and Know Your Rights. And I want to talk about Diego, who you can see in the picture on the far right with the bicycle. Diego came to 2 different events. He came to the American Job Center in Maywood for a resume writing event that was specifically geared towards new arrivals. The resume writing was being done in Spanish, the presentation. And he came to this event even though they didn't live anywhere near Maywood. It took them quite a while to get to Maywood. But he and his wife came and they participated, and they left with resumes. They came back another day where there was a mini hiring event. They got hired by a company called A-Lava. So they were able to get jobs that day, but they also reached out and said that they needed help with getting bicycles. And so, I just went online. Google is my best friend, and looked up an organization that some can help out with getting bikes for people, working bikes. And we filled out an application, and about a month later, they got their bicycle. So there is Diego with his new bike, helmet, his light, and his lock, and he's all set to go. So it's just lots of different stories. Transportation is always an issue, and this couple solved their transportation issue in a very unique way. Thank you.
Thank you, colleagues. I already talked about the picture there, and William will have an opportunity to also speak, but I just wanted to say that that's a great point, Hermania, when it comes to working bikes and finding those connections. One of the great things about these cross trainings is that we get to talk about where can we cross train each other and also provide mutual support. One of the strengths about navigation services and what we do with ScaleLIT at our HACs and in the field is that we're always looking for how to make connections between programs, participants, and the relationships between them. The example yesterday in the picture that's shown down there with the 87th and Dan Ryan resource fair, even though it wasn't at that location, was very nearby, was about making those connections with the participants. But it's also an active role that we have to play. And I challenge everyone to consider bringing in those partnerships. And if the partnership is just a resource, or if they are specialized in something that's outside of our scope, but we have an immediate and urgent need, like the need for this event, we have to take those considerations and start making those fostering those new partnerships. There's a lot of organizations that I wasn't aware of, and I know we're connecting now. And thank you.
All right, wonderful. Thank you, Gabe, for all that information. And let's just move on to, I want to hear from just Fernando's and Clelia, Awilda, and William's introduction, and then we'll go for the questions with Hannah. Thank you so much.
Hello, my name is Fernando Villeda. I'm one of 3 transition specialists at Truman College. Truman College is the largest adult education program in the state of Illinois. We have around 3,900 students enrolled in the spring, and we are in the process of enrollment for the new semester in the fall. We provide services, English as a second language services, and GED in English and Spanish. In addition to that, we have at Truman College, we have 3 career bridge programs, early childhood education, ESL, construction, and auto technology that we're going to start a new program in the fall. All our students are eligible to apply. It requires some level of English literacy to participate. The levels of ESL that we offer at Truman is from level 0 to level 6. In addition to that, we offer an ESL transition class to help the students to prepare for the entry exam for college. And I am here to share later on, based on your questions, all the other services and support that we have for the students.
Thank you, Fernando. Clelia?
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Clelia Gomez. I'm a co-director of Central States Learning Circle. And through the partnership of funding in the past months, we've been able to work a lot with new arrivals, put together 2 teams of new arrivals themselves to be able to train them and provide workforce services for, you know, the Little Village community and the community that we're here in the South Suburbs here in North Riverside.
Fantastic, Lilia. Thank you so much. Wilda?
Hi, everybody. I am Awilda Gonzalez. I am the Director of Chicagoland WIA programs at National Able Network. I oversee the Pilsen site, the Evanston site, the Prairie State College site, as well as Skokie site. So here at the Pilsen site, which is our main site, we also have been able to, with the partnership, been able to form a Quest, some people call it Quest team. I call it the new arrival team, which are also new arrivals as well. And they have been able to service the new arrival community, as well as providing things like resume writing, interviewing skills. We've been able to do some industry tours this summer, which was really great. We were able to go to Olive Harvey. We were able to go to Uchi, which is the culinary program, and things like that. So we also provide resources to anybody who has like a walk-in that needs some assistance. William is very sought out, and then you'll hear a little bit more about him a little bit later, but definitely we always have a lot of people asking for our team here and asking for resources.
Amazing. Great. Thank you so much. William, do you just want to say hello? Introduce yourself?
Oh, yes, thank you. My name is William Mijares. I'm the community outreach supervisor for the Quest team in Pilsen. And basically, or well, not basically, what we do here is that we get in touch with the new arrivals. We obtain their information in order to help them, to guide them through the process of adapting to, or to be just to get adapted to this new situation, and just to be able to start a new path, and just to get a job. So that's how we teach them, or that's what we try to teach them, and to show them that they have plenty of opportunities to make a life here in this community and in this country.
Amazing. Thank you so much, William. And yeah, so let's hear from Hannah, and we'll hear from everyone shortly. Thanks.
So nice to meet all of you panelists. My first question for you all is how you have been engaging with new arrivals. So how often, how many people you've been engaging with, and really how you've been able to make the work inclusive of new arrival communities.
I'll start. I think it was maybe April and May, I can't remember, when we had the opportunity to receive a funding to put together a worker to help the new arrivals. One of the things that we did was, put the word out. We were already had started to receive, individuals coming in, asking for services. Our staff really, I'll say 80% of our staff in both of our locations, they are bilingual, and with Spanish being the other language. So that's one thing that helped, that we always have, Spanish speaker staff in our office. And being in a very Latino community at Little Village, we had tons of individuals coming in, but we pre-screen, people, those that would be willing to work and help another arrivals. I think the good thing was, looking for people that were willing to learn too, right? So that were not afraid of speaking and, in public, that were not afraid of connecting with other individuals that maybe we have in our staff now. 2 of them are lawyers, actually, right? In their countries in Venezuela. So looking for the skill set that would help us with the kind of work that we will be doing now, that's key. And then the other thing is that they went through 2 weeks of job readiness. So we train them to do what we want, what they were going to be doing with other individuals. So they did digital literacy, and Michael Matos is going to love this because they were in a North Star and they did digital literacy themselves. We helped them with putting their resumes together, doing job search assistance, connecting, shadowing with the staff, learning about all the services that we had and how to connect, individual with resources. Being that Roxanne was here also, Roxanne helped a lot. We had another cohort that we were able to do ESL classes. And we did more than just ESL. We assessed what levels they were in, but also like what kind of things they wanted to learn about in the new country, right? How to do directions, the basics of how to order food at a restaurant, like how to say what is hurting if you're in an emergency situation, like parts of your body that you can say, that something is hurting. So we connected in a different way to how to acculturate in US, not just workforce, but what is it? What is different in being here? And although we're Spanish speakers, because I'm originally from Honduras, our languages were very much different. I constantly had to be asking, what does that mean? What do you mean when you say that? So there was a lot of learning through that aspect too. I learned a lot of, their languages. They learned a lot of, of ours and the different nationalities that are in this country. And that was also a learning experience for them too, knowing like, how people speak, the difference of, all the different nationalities in this country, how to dress differently, how to be on time. I mean, we taught all of that, because in our Latin countries, a lot of things are different. So we did a lot of that. And at the end of our CSL classes, we were able to have Roxanne and connect them with other services. So who wants to go into ESL, who wants to go into GED, and then we connect them to what's the next step. And that was really good. And the thing is also, hear their stories. At least, the individuals that we have on both of our locations, their stories are pretty amazing. And, the journey that they had to go through to come here, right? And so it's important to know, what their story is, see how they can help others and connect with other people and how we can provide those resources that they need.
Thank you for sharing, Clelia. Yeah, the language differences is very real. So, having a framework of language justice and cultural competency in all of this work is so important. I'm glad that you bring that up. And please, any other panelists, feel free to jump in.
Yeah, I guess I'm going to piggyback on you. So we have students from 110 different countries in our program. The biggest groups are Mexico, Venezuela, Ecuador, Guatemala, Ukraine. Those are the biggest group at this point. But we know at Truman College that there is an order of event, of things to happen for the students to get to us. We know they want to know where they're going to live, what they're going to eat, where they're going to work, and education. So when they reach the first steps, or when they satisfy those three needs, they get to us. But once they get to us, our services are free. But we have something at Truman that we call One Truman, which means that every student have access to all the services that we have for the students regarding if it's paid tuition or free tuition programs. So when the student becomes one of our students, we try to connect them with the services that they need. And one of the difficult challenges is that we have students from level 0 who cannot speak anything to those ones who have an education and have an English foundation. So the services are tailored to the student. And that's what a lot of the transition specialists work. We connect them with the right department, but I can tell you there are some departments that are very direct impacting the new arrivals. We have an undocumented student center and a liaison who we can connect it directly for questions, for support services, for legal services. There is 3 lawyers in City College of Chicago that the liaison from the undocumented center can connect the students for those legal advice that the student may need. We have students who recently arrived, and we have students who have already their work authorization, the employment authorization permit. So all the services are barriers on the need of the specific student. But I know the undocumented student center connects also the student with allies, professionals in City College of Chicago that can work and support and advise specific students based on their needs. The other departments that are doing a great impact on the pathway that the student is going to follow is career services. They can help the students to work on the resume, and some of them, they do not have any information with them. And our students are so different that some of them need literacy in their own language to professionals who have a doctoral degree. So it's very tailored to the unique needs of the student. But for those students who don't have a resume and they don't know how to, our Career Services Center provide a form with some general questions, and they literally type the resume for the student. For those ones who have already experience with resume, that may have a resume already, the center help the students to make sure that they understand the differences in terms of what do we put in a resume in the United States and what we don't, like marriage status, or a picture ID, or your age. So we educate the students in terms of you don't do that because they won't touch your resume if they see your picture or your marriage status. So the support services in the Career Services Department goes from helping the students tailor the resume, to review the resume, to send them a data of companies that are hiring students to have access to jobs, but also you connect the students with the American Job Center, the WIA programs. We work very close with Upperly Global. I don't know if you're familiar with Upperly Global, but it's an organization, a non-for-profit that help professionals to find a job in their field. But that access is when they have already the work authorization employment. So the level of services varies based on the student's need. We know, once again, where I'm going to live, what I'm going to eat, where I'm going to work, and now where I can learn English. So that's the center of the services that we provide in adult education at Truman. Teach them English from level 0 to transitional levels for those ones who want to continue or learn more on academic English. We offer scholarship opportunities for our students. It's called Gateway to College. We offer assistance in terms of how to apply for federal financial aid for those ones who need to complete a degree. For those ones who don't have a degree from their country, we offer a GED in English and Spanish. And in addition to that, we offer a fantastic program. One of my favorites that I see all the time that is making a direct impact on the students is the Career Bridge program. And the Career Bridge program helps the students to continue their English, to continue developing their English skills at the same time that they earn a certification in the field. We pay for the cost of the certification. We pay for the cost of the textbooks. We pay for any materials that they need in the classroom. And we provide Ventra transportation vouchers weekly for the students. In addition to that, these programs are under Chicago Career Grow. So the students receive a stipend of $350 per semester. At Truman College, we offer early childhood education, construction. The early childhood education, the student finish with a certification in early childhood education, Gateways Level 2. With the construction career bridge, the student finish with a Flagger and OSHA certification. And with the new one that we're going to offer, in the fall, the Aero Tech, the students are going to finish with a certification in aero mechanics. This is the first time that we offer the program, but I can tell you that it's not only at Truman College that we offer Career Bridge. All over the city colleges of Chicago, we offer different programs. We offer Career Bridge in healthcare, that is a BNA. We offer supply chain and transportation, manufacturing, culinary arts. I think I'm feeling like I'm forgetting one. IT. And the concept is the same. Any cost in the certification is paid by the adult education department budget. So the students develop the skills that they need in English, but at the same time, they earn a certification in the field. We do not ask any questions if they are documented or undocumented to be able to participate in the program. Requires students to have a level of intermediate to high level of English to be able to participate. But if the students are not at that level, the transition specialists develop a plan for them to get there. We work with the tutoring center to make sure that they get the assistance in terms of reading and writing to be able to participate in the program. We work, after they finish, we work with the career services department to make sure that they have access to placement. And what I can tell you is 90% of the students who finish the certification continue into the associate degree. And at that point, we offer the Gateway scholarship to assist them to pay for the program. One of the things that we do—
Fernando, okay, I'm sorry. Like we have to sort of like move to others to speak. So
That's
it's
what,
really, yeah. So
thanks,
thank
Kelly.
you.
So yeah, wonderful amount of resources. I do want to interrupt and pivot a little bit into what you're talking about, right? These partnerships for all the resources that you're able to provide your students and how that leads to workforce development. So I'm curious for all of our panelists, what how you've been able to leverage your communities to assist new arrivals.
So I can speak a little bit on that. So we definitely, one of the things that we really looked at here in Pilsen, I kind of am going to piggy off of what Claudia said. Here in Pilsen, we're also, I would say, 99% bilingual, Spanish being the second language. And so it made it our center one of the centers that we were like, okay, wait a minute, what's going on in the beginning? How are we going to help people who their first language is Spanish, right? So one of the things that I think we've been doing, and we've been doing really well, is connecting with people in the community and locally to be able to either have them offer opportunities to new arrivals or also become interested in what's an like an OJT on the job training through our WIOA dollars as well. I think that really helps in being able to hire people who have the deficiency in English, right? To be able to have the experience and to be able to move forward in a career to be able to have an OJT and things like that. So locally, we've been able to do that as well. Because we do have the new arrival team here, we made sure that we pivoted in making sure that our Workforce Wednesdays that we offer here as well are also staffed by people who are Spanish speakers as well. That is one of the things that I think we really had to think about. Okay, so why is it that we're always telling our new arrivals that they have to learn English right away, right, to be able to find a job? Why can't we send employers that are able, right, to be able to have someone who's a Spanish speaker on staff and speak to our new arrivals that are Spanish speakers? We understand that they're going to need English and all those things, and we definitely know that, right here in Pilsen, we're also doing the ESL classes as well, and we partnership with Instituto, and thank you to Gabe and to Robert for helping us get that as well. But we also want them to be able to have a job now that they know Spanish. So those are one of the things that we're doing. And there's an upcoming project that we have with one of our business services team people that's going to be solely for new arrivals. So that's something that I think it's really important that we kind of pivot what employers are really the way that they think as well.
I love that you're highlighting creativity in leveraging the resources that already exist in the community and how we can be creative to develop resources and be effective in what we're able to provide. I also want to know, for folks, what current workshops for workforce development, that you're putting in place in your, various locations. If anyone wants to highlight the current work that they're doing.
What do you mean? What kind of workshops to identify careers in the industries?
Yeah, so what current workforce workshops that you're putting in place?
Okay. So we utilize different assessments and different, websites. For example, Illinois WorkNet, My Future, which is myfuture.org, which has also a Spanish platform. But I think one of the things that is different for our new arrivals is trying to identify what are the real jobs that they are able to do now. Especially with the skill sets that they have, the expectations of the pay that they're coming in looking for. There's a lot of high expectations. And so trying to help individuals match that with the reality, right, of the industries in which we're in right now also is a task. But we have the virtual goggles now. So whenever someone is interested in a specific career, after they do the assessment, we have them utilize those virtual goggles and do, artificial intelligence and be able to actually experience what they want to do with that. And that has been kind of like a real success for us, because you feel like you're actually doing that work. And it's been kind of fun.
Love that answer. Thanks, Clelia. Anyone else want to share, highlight their the current, workshops that they're hosting?
Yes, I'd like to say something. It's important because we are trying to connect with them, because they, especially in our case, we came from the same place they're coming from. And we've been in the same situation. I live in a shelter, and I've been through the same process they are going through now. So in a way, that's why they trust us, so that we try to tell them that is because they come with some needs, special needs, specific need. The main goal that they have is just to get a job. So what we try to teach them, that is not like in our countries, that you just go by a bakery and they are hiring and you just get a job. Here is different. You gotta go through a process. So that's what we're trying to teach them, to let them know that they have to go through this process, but this process has some levels that they have to pass. It's been the most difficult thing because they just want to work right now. And another thing that I like to let you know that we've been facing is the fact that we find some employers, but right now they request a specific percentage of English skills. So some people, they have just the basic, or not even the basic. They don't know anything. So that's the most difficult, or that's the barrier that we are finding now, in order just to let them get a job. So that's why it's very important that some of them are understanding that they need to go to the English classes that they are receiving with us or in the Chicago public schools, and then they can continue in the process. And we let them know that there are plenty of resources that they can continue getting a GED, continuing a career, and everything. But the main goal right now of the new arrivals is just to get a job. So we are like trying to play with what we know, with what we have. And that's why, as Awilda said, we are trying just to adapt to this situation in order to get a more effective response or answer for their needs, because that's mostly what they want to do. And let me tell you, they want to be involved in the community. They want to be part of the community. They are just not passing by, like, oh, okay, I'm going to be here in just 2 years and then I will go back. Because for most of us, there is no comeback. So we just have to continue and just to set our, I don't know how to say that, but it's just like to settle down here, and those are the resources that we need, and we have to use them.
Yeah.
Piggyback, oh, sorry. Yeah, sorry.
Go ahead.
Piggyback on that, we thinking with the career services around that way. They asked me, we are putting together a workshop for students, for new arrivals, for students who don't have documents. And we know they need a job. I'm totally willing with, there is layers, there is a process, but they do need the job. I share with them my personal experience. I arrived to the United States like 35 years ago. I came with a visa, and it was an overstay visa. I didn't know what the Social Security means. I needed a job, but I didn't know what the Social Security card and what I needed for and how. So one of the things that we're doing now is tailoring a workshop based on that. What is a Social Security? A friend of mine took me to buy she told me just let's go somewhere, and then I went with him. I didn't understand. Next thing that I know, I had a card that I didn't know what it means. And when I applied to the job, the guy looked at it and he says, you need to get a better one because it was too fake, I guess. And then, so based on my own experience, I'm a US citizen now. And so, helping the students to understand that being a good citizen, doing the right things, working hard, paying the extra mile, but understanding also that language of what is a social security, what is the risk of, I didn't have an idea what the risk was to have a fake social security card. And then the
Absolutely.
students,
Yeah, Fernando, I'm
Yeah.
so sorry to cut you
Yeah.
off, but well, I really appreciate you and William both, expressing all of these barriers, which is going to pivot me into my last question, because I want to leave just, a couple minutes in case the audience has questions at the end. But I'm curious, what do you want the audience to know about how they might be able to support all of your workforce efforts?
It's just that some people, the community, even mostly the employers, we have a huge workforce and they are willing to work and they have experience in many things. What they gotta do, what we need is just these employers, they realize that they can get really good workers, but they have just to accept these workers with the abilities they have right now, especially with the English, because they can do whatever they are requested to, but it's just the English, the thing that is stopping, or it's not like stopping, it's just like breaking down the process for them to get a job. So for example, I just want to be really fast. So if you're an employer and you have a supervisor who speaks English and Spanish, so you can have 10 workers that they speak Spanish. So you only need a supervisor and he will give them the information. So that's what we are trying to find in from the employers, just to help these people and just to make them get involved in the job force, in the workforce.
Thanks, William. And thank you all of you panelists for, sharing your personal experiences as well, and in your personal insight, and for all the work that you're doing. I do want to leave just a couple minutes here for the audience if there's questions, either in the chat or if anyone would like to speak. Any
Hi,
questions?
Hannah, can you hear me?
Yeah. Hi, Robert. How are you?
Hey, Robert Guzman, External Affairs Director. I'm in the middle of Prairie State College under construction, so our Wi-Fi is not too good, but I've heard everything. I do want to let everyone know that our Department of Commerce region, representative Dr. Kelly Lapatino is on the call. She's the one in October of 2023 that got the call from the Fed to say that, the Biden administration will be, providing TPS and EAD for thousands of Venezuelans. So, that's when us as a local workforce force got assigned to provide workforce services to new arrivals, and with no additional funding. I want to say that again, no additional funding. So we were able to come together as a local workforce area, composed of Pan American job centers, of adult education providers. So this is what the law of workforce intended to make the public workforce system more accessible. We just didn't have a blueprint. No one had ever done it, but now, like you saw the data, we have engaged with 3,600 folks. We have these new arrivals teams at some of our American job centers. I'm not sure if anybody has said this, but we were provided funding and we have translation devices at all 10 of American job centers now. So this is the blueprint on how to integrate new arrivals, asylum seekers, refugees in our system. And we have it locked down. I know that, Kelly and folks, they participated in a meeting with the U.S. Department of Labor sharing our best practices. The thing is that we've been moving so fast, we don't have time to share with anybody, you know? So I appreciate everyone from Wheeling to Maywood to Pilsen to Little Village that have made these efforts. Now what we need to do is sustain this. Funds are going to run out, right? So this is the real next step, call to action. So everyone continue to engage these folks. I put in the chat that if you engage with anyone, you can send them to our HAC Level Up campaigns, which is like in 18 different languages. And, you know, and we're just working with everybody. And it was very nice to meet you. This is the first time I actually hang out with the Resurrection Project and the Latino Policy Forum and stuff. But this here naturally integrated the housing community, the legal community, the immigrant community, and the workforce public system. So let's just keep it going. I'm glad this is being recorded. We need a part 2. Okay? Thank you, Reynuka. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Robert. Absolutely. We are stronger together, and the partnerships that we've been able to make have been just so empowering. And so thank you everyone for being on this call. Thank you again to the panelists. And I will turn it back over to Renuka now.
Yes. Thank you so much, Hannah, for engaging this awesome panel. And I just have a question that I've launched up here. What's something new you learned today? You can very short answer. If you feel free to give it, please do. It's not required, but I just want to send that out. And we are here. ScaleLIT is so honored to have engaged with all of you for this hour. If there are any more lingering questions at this time from Fernando, William, Awilda, Clelia, this is so important. And the work that Hannah has done with the Resurrection Project has really been able to holistically, hopefully serve the new arrivals and communities in general. So if there are any lingering questions, please do ask. And please, if you would like to answer the question, please do too.
Can I just say something?
Mm-hmm.
My name is Veronica. I just want to say thank you for this organization from City Cruises, also known as City Experience. I've had hired great employees that are new to this country, and honestly, the feedback I'm getting from the managers is definitely positive. I love to tell everyone that we have a non-English employee now with us. He works for one of the boats for back of the house he started as a dishwasher. No English whatsoever in that vessel. Everyone from the kitchen speaks English, and they just made him feel at home. Within 5 months, he got promoted to cook 2. And I went up to the chefs and I was like, thank you for making him feel like welcome. And they're like, oh no, Veronica, he's a great worker. And I just want to appreciate one thing I noticed about all these immigrants that are coming. They do have a resume, they're presentable. And my advice to them is just hard work. Hard work will get you a long way. They will learn English working with more English people, just speaking. And when I go to the boats, I'm like, how are you guys doing? They're like, de chévere. That's one of the words that I have learned they use. And I love it. So I appreciate this program. Thank you for letting me be part of this. And yeah, thank you for all the hard work you guys are putting in. Resumes are looking amazing. And just the way they present themselves as well.
Oh, thank you, Veronica, for those kind words. William, that you were laughing there with the words that she was saying. That's cool. And Fernando was also shaking the head in acknowledgement. So Deb has shared some information there in the chat. We'll be able to share all the good resources that have been dropped in the chat garden with everyone. This recording will be linked over to everybody. Thank you, Clelia. Any last words? Clelia, Fernando, Gabriel, William, Awilda.
No, we did a job fair for new arrivals on July 30th, and almost 600 individuals showed up. And the one thing that I saw was people do want to work. We just got to be able to definitely teach them what is it that they need to do. I love William's words. I think he's right on track. learn the new systems and how things are done here, but people do want to work. And they're out there looking for jobs.
Hi,
But thank you for the invitation.
this is Deb Lawrence. I just wanted to piggyback on that and say that we've got the next Career Connector event coming up on September 19th. And so thanks for all the hearts. So the session that is on using your foreign degree or foreign experience is being taught by someone from Harper College at the Learning and Career Center, which is across the street from the American Job Center in Wheeling. And they are fully bilingual. In fact, the person who's teaching it speaks, I think, either 3 or maybe 4 languages. I know she speaks English, Spanish, and French, and I'm not sure about others, but almost all of the staff at that center are bilingual. So I invite you to not only send job seekers on that day for the September 19th Career Connector event, but also they're more than welcome to attend the 4 sessions that are leading up to it that cover using your foreign degree, cover resume, interview coaching, and how to work a job fair and get an interview. That's it.
Fantastic, Deb. Thank you so for sharing that. And if you have a flyer, you can drop it in. Otherwise,
I dropped the flyer in.
perfect, perfect. Yes. Elsie, you have some last comments?
Hi, actually, I have a question. My name is Elsie Rodriguez. I'm here with Anna and Tony. We are from the Job Center of Lake County in Waukegan. And thank you everyone for this wonderful information. It's been very helpful for us. We are part of the new arrival team here in Waukegan. And I actually just had a question about that job fair for new arrivals. If you guys can just provide us information, just how did you promote it? Like, how did you kind of promoted to the new arrivals, and like what type of employers were there, because that's a very good turnout. And just if you guys can provide us with a little bit of about that, please.
Well, Clelia, do you have any?
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I thought it was about the job fair that Deborah talked about.
Well, I think Elsie is asking about how you reached out to employers, how you were able to contact new arrivals, and sort of what was the construction of the new arrivals job fair.
We work very closely with the Chicago Cook Workforce Partnership. So we have, already, right, in our pool, we have because we're an American Job Center, we already have a pool of employers that we work with. So we specifically asked the employers that this was going to be a job fair for new arrivals, where we're looking for jobs where they accept people that are Spanish speakers only, right? So that's how we reach out to the employers. And then on the individual pool, with Gabe, he sends, I think we've got maybe over 5,000. I don't know how many people we have on our Excel sheet that have gone through the Metcalf events and got work permits, and people that ScaleLIT has also encountered, and they go into, the Airtable, and we've made phone calls, with all the work crews that have made phone calls to invite individuals. There was the flyer that went out there, and so then in our network, it was distributed and people were able to register. We had over 1,800 people that register. I'm so glad only 600 showed up, because it was already insane as it was. And within, the network, we were able to do that. But we just were very specific with the employers that we reach out to, and make sure that they know what was the intention, and the jobs that they could, to let us know what were the jobs that they had, how many openings they had, and that they were okay with making sure that they hire Spanish speakers only.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, LC too. If there's shelters around there, provide the flyers to the coordinators. The week before this event, I went to specific shelters for events and short presentations on resume writing importance, and I said, here's the flyer, sign up today. And one of those locations in the Calumet, off of Calumet, just north of Bronzeville, had it surrounded the entire building with it. So they already did the job. So like over 300 people already had that knowledge, and we're like, oh yeah, we signed up already. I'm like, oh, this is great. Let's just talk about resumes today.
Awesome game. Well, any other last comments, questions? This was a very necessary, needed, and very grateful that you all could be here for today's supporting new arrivals, accessing workforce development.
Just our registration is going on until August 24th. Classes in the morning, afternoon, evening, Saturdays in person, online. So the students just need an identification, and then we take care of them. And then later on, we connect them with the rest.
Well, this has been wonderful. Thank you all for being here. Grace and gratitude to you all. I hope you have a nice afternoon. And if there are any more questions, please feel free to get in touch with any of us at ScaleLIT. And definitely we'll be in contact further on. So thank you so much. It's been great.